Hello and welcome to Forbes India Pathbreakers with me, Neha Bothra. My guest on the show has taken over the reins of one of India's biggest FMCG giants at a time when cola wars are getting hotter. Tastes are getting healthier, and consumer behavior is getting harder to predict. What is PepsiCo's game plan in India? Let's find out. Jagrut, thank you so much for joining us on Pathbreakers. It's so good to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me, and it's a pleasure having you.
You've taken the reins at PepsiCo India at a very pivotal stage. What would you say is your North Star for the next 3 to 5 years as CEO?
Well, I would say more than pivotal, it's an exciting stage. The country is in an exciting phase. Honorable Prime Minister has laid down the 2030 vision and the 2047 vision. It just talks about the promise of this country and the potential it has. It always had. It's always been exciting. And it's now coming forth. And also that goes with our business. PepsiCo has identified 13 growth markets outside the North America business, and India is one of that. And hence, what's happening macroeconomically with our country and what our organization is trying, I think it's a perfect combination. It's a great place to be.
Indeed, India is one of the most diverse and high potential markets.
Sure.
What would you say are some of the personal and strategic challenges that you encountered so far?
I would not say challenges, because every challenge comes with an opportunity, right? So, as you rightly put, it's a diverse country. In our food and beverage industry, at least internally, we talk it's 9 Indias, okay? Just not one India. It's a combination of the food, the culture, the per capita income, the evolution of consumer and customers, etc. So that is the way we look at India. It's not a monolith. That tells you the opportunity. Of course, there are challenges, because when you start looking at that as a construct, you can't have one solution, one size fits all. You can't have one product which goes from north to south and east to west. So you need to start thinking different consumers in a different way, in a different channel, and give a consumer-centric proposition for that. And then you build your entire infrastructure, supply chain based on that. So from a reporting purpose, it's one country, but actually 9 zones. That's the beauty of this place. Yeah.
So then how do you define success in a complex market like India?
See, one is success. If you typically think about it, okay, people will say, okay, is your top line growing? Is your bottom line growing? Etc. Those are financial successes.
Yes.
I would rather start with, are you winning with your consumer? Okay, and there are matrices which we try to track. If you're winning with the consumer, rest of the things will fall in place. If you're not winning with the consumers, by listening to them, by giving them consumer-centric products, then one will struggle. The second, what I personally believe, and I think as an organization, is will succeed in India if it has purpose embedded with that. We are all caretakers when we come to this planet, or we work with an organization like PepsiCo to leave it for somebody else to take it forward during a life cycle of 60, 70 years of corporate and stuff like that, or till we are. So if you're not conscious of that, then you're not leaving something behind. So I look at success in those 2 parameters.
We'll touch on that a bit more in the course of the conversation. But what I found very interesting was that in a span of 2 years, for instance, your profit has seen a massive jump from something like 41 crore in FY22. It's gone up to 883 crore in CY24. What do you think changed inside the company to enable this transformation?
Couple of things. Listen, we have fantastic talent. I think one of the best talents across the world. That's the core. What we collectively did in the last 2 years was built on 2 or 3 fundamental pillars. Ensure you're driving consumer-centric innovations and products. That's number 1. Ensure you're picking up fewer bigger bets, but executing it end-to-end thoroughly. Third, ensuring that we are constantly having a challenger mindset and hence keeping our costs under control. It was an inflationary area.
Yes.
We had to find productivity. We had to take selective pricing, but we took in a very conscious manner where it was relevant and all. And then collectively get the whole organization together with that same vision across it. Once a clear vision was laid down and what we needed to achieve, I think the engine just started to roll. And same thing in our beverage. We have a great beverage partner in this place. They've been operating brilliantly. Our portfolio was in the right place for the right consumer occasion. And that partnership ensured that the engine continued to fire. So we were blessed both internally and externally to drive that.
What did you do differently when it came to managing the input cost inflation?
We innovated our products. We for example, in our packaging film, we evolved to a biolaminate structure. So optimizing some costs. We did smart commodity buying and planning much better. We did a lot of productivity work. Our teams in operations and supply chain did a lot of work on back end on that, whether it's carton optimization, optimization of freight, because we have multiple plants, multiple DCs. And all of this we did using a lot of tools. We've invested over the last few years in digital tools. We have a completely digitized sales tool where we can actually figure out where we need to sell, what we need to sell, how much we need to sell, how would our margins move. We started doing that. Same thing at our back-end network optimization. We put some digital tools which allows us to optimize our network. Same thing we did on our manufacturing side. Ideas which we get from the plant front line. They're simple, non-complex ideas. And if you start listening to them and start implementing that, you will get so much of learning on that. At the same time, we ensured we are not missing the consumer. So all of that came together, which worked for us. The second thing which we did is we slightly thinking ahead of plan. What we've started doing as an organization is, okay, what's our bet over the next 18 months, 24 months, 36 months? So collectively, we came as a forum. It's called Future Friday. My team would spend half a day we have some 9 key pillars which we want to work on. Reviewing that, how are we progressing? And these are not the next 12 months. These are 18 months and outside. And these are led by our great next level management team, who will be the future of this organization. Okay, so we've started embedding that so that we are not running short term. We are running more mid and long term.
Against this backdrop, and also the fact that you have seen a pretty good rise in profits, where are you investing more? Is it capacity? Is it innovation? Is it marketing? Is it technology?
Actually, everything. I don't think we can say one versus the other. We are investing in capacity, for example. Very soon we are opening up our plant in Northeast. So that goes live in a couple of months' time. We are gearing up to open a concentrate plant in Madhya Pradesh. That should get ready and up early Q1. We are looking at expansions on foods 3 years, 4 years down the line, but we started the work now in terms of land acquisitions in other geographies. So we're not shying away from investments.
3,000, 4,000 crore is what you've done over the last 3 years. Will you sustain the momentum?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We believe in the growth story. Our aspiration, as I've said before, is doubling where we are today in the next 5 years.
$2 billion is the revenue target you've set for yourself?
Yeah, we've said we should be doubling those types of numbers. For that, then you will need everything, right? So we will need capacity planning, we need agro programs, because while we are great marketeers, honestly, I keep joking and telling, we are actually farmers. Because unless we grow great quality potatoes, which requires a lot of planning in terms of seeds and tuber, which are 4 or 5 years ahead. Lay's is a final product which consumer consumes, but there's a lot happening over there. So that we are investing in that. We are investing a lot on digital capabilities. Buying of products is changing very fast and is being disruptive. So unless you are digitizing and driving AI solutions, it will become a challenge. And of course, we're continuing to innovate products and give great brands, which consumers love. So I don't think we're going to shy away and say, okay, we'll over-invest here and under-invest. It's a whole 360 which we're going after.
There's also a lot of intense competition in beverages and in snacks. You have global brands, you have regional players, D2C challengers. What would you say is PepsiCo's moat in India?
Our philosophy is consumer competition is good. And let me tell you why. If you see in a beverage business, our per caps in India is still very low. It's at a very nascent stages. So that just tells you the size of opportunity for this category to grow. So having competition to come in uh, is great because I think everyone will benefit. Our mindsets have always been challenger mindset. That's how PepsiCo operates, right? We may be great or leaders in one category or something, but we always keep ourselves on toes and think, okay, a challenger mindset will always keep you thinking, how do I do things differently? It keeps you awake that what if the consumer shifts happen, and hence how we are closer to the consumer. So I think that is what the DNA will help us. And same thing in our food business. We've been in this business for the last 30 years. We've had great growths, and we have local competition. There are not too many global players, but yeah, there's Haldiram's or Balaji's and all. They keep us on our toes. We think global, but we have to act local because that's what consumer is all about.
Speaking about the food business, Frito-Lay India is now increasingly the profit engine of sorts. It contributes, I think, about 80% to the top line. Do you think that PepsiCo is now going to be known as a snack-first company?
No, actually, you see, we are both a food and beverage company. It's when you look at revenues, you see it differently because foods is a company-owned, fully operated business.
Yeah.
While in our beverage, it's a franchise business where we are largely selling our concentrate. So the revenues are different. But when you consolidate and you see end-to-end result, we are, if you just take gross sales value or Nielsen sales value, we are actually more beverage than foods because beverage generally is a much bigger category in India. I think about $14 billion worth, while salty snacks is $6 billion. So which is not. So we have both business are equally important to us. Both are a great success story, and we'll continue to drive. It's just they're different operating models. That's it.
The market dynamics are also so different. So where do you see more headroom for growth? Is it going to be snacks or is it going to be beverages?
Both. I gave you an example of per caps on beverage, which is one of the lowest. Same thing on foods. Our per caps in India are still, it's about, like if I give potato chips, it's about 800 grams. If I look at the most developed and evolved markets, they're close to 10 or 11 kilos. So there's massive headroom. And with the size of population which we have, with the economic prosperity which we are moving towards, we're just getting started. So I don't think it's one or the two. It's both.
You have brands like Pepsi, 7-Up. They have so much brand power, brand recall. Tell me a bit about your plans in this area because we are seeing a shift when it comes to health drinks. Is that going to be a focus going forward?
So we cater to consumers across the zone, right? And we have solutions for everyone. So on a beverage business, for example, yes, we have Pepsi, we have 7-Up, etc. We have zero sugar products of 7-Up. You must try, and we have Pepsi Black. So that plays in our CSD zone for a consumer who loves what they want to drink, and they have a choice for that. Then we have energy drink like Sting, because energy is a great need state which we've identified in our demand space and consumer occasion with energy which you need for the day. Then we have juices. We have Tropicana, etc. over there. We have a great product in hydration, which is Nimbus. Okay, so we are offering a range which addresses the need state, and we'll continue doing that. And as the demand space and the need states evolves, we will drive innovation. Of course, it will always be an engine for growth, but there is so much opportunity still in your core. As you were earlier referring, Varun, our bottling partner, was talking to you. As the rural penetration grows, as infrastructure comes into place, as electricity comes into place, chilling equipment goes. With that chilling equipment, per cap consumption goes up. So there is a lot on a core to grow. And of course, then as you look at demand occasion, there's a lot of innovation, relevant innovation. Just don't throw a lot of stuff in the market. Okay, that's what we'll focus on. So I think both, there is room for both.
Gen Z consumers, for instance, they are drinking less and less soda. How are they redefining PepsiCo in India?
See, it's not only Gen Z, right? As I said, India is not a monolith. PepsiCo focuses is trying to ensure that we address to that larger consumer base, just not one consumer base. While Gen Z is one vector to look at it, but I think there are a lot more vectors to look at just beyond age. Okay, and that's what is shaping our growth story and our innovation and portfolio.
There's a new entrant in the market, Campa Cola.
Yeah.
Reliance has deep pockets. They've announced investments to the tune of 8,000 crore. How do you think this will change your strategy? Will you hold ground? Will you reimagine how you are doing business in this space?
Our per caps in the country are still very low. a player like
It will develop the category for sure.
absolutely, it'll grow the category the way you look at it. And when the category grows, I believe everyone has a room to play. Reliance will have a room to play. We will have a room to play, etc. So, having said that, yes, we have, because we've always had a challenger mindset. We are not complacent and saying, okay, we are what we are, and okay, if some competition has come. No, we are aware what they're doing. We have our initiatives which we are working with our bottling partners. We've launched, for example, 20 rupees 400 ml, which we have some of that in zero sugar, some of that in full sugar. Fantastic product for consumers to try and taste. We have a 10 rupees in juices. So we have a portfolio, we have a price pack, we have an occasion demand. Our partners are investing significantly in go-to-market, expanding distribution, cooler infrastructure. They've invested in a lot of capacity. So we are pretty much geared up for what's there. We will keep evolving as this space grows. And that's why I said, till a nascent developing category.
Of course, there's so much in the distribution space as well, with quick commerce in the mix now.
Absolutely.
How is this changing the game for you?
I believe all the channels will have a role to play. I've not seen a particular market where one disruption channel has taken over the other. Like even in China, where e-com, quick commerce significantly matured ahead, you still have modern trade, brick and mortar, traditional trade, wholesale still there. We believe that the shopper experience and how they shop will evolve and change, which is already happening. We as marketers and sellers will have to change our advertisement, positioning, reaching out, how we reach out will be different. So we will have to be nimble and build our GTM models on that. We will have to invest in new age capabilities. I think all the channels will grow, some faster than the others, but I think there's room for opportunity. And as marketers, we will give solutions which targets to different consumers for different need state, for a different occasion, a portfolio which will be slightly different. That's the exciting part.
You did mention a while back when we were speaking that over the 30 years, you have always had your feet on the ground. You have done market visits, and that is where you get your most insightful nuggets of information about how consumer trends are shifting. Tell me a bit about what are you gleaning from the new trends that you are seeing in the space, because there is a lot of focus on premiumization. But in a country that is still very focused on affordability, where people are still very price conscious, although they are also brand loyal, how are you seeing all these patterns play out in the market?
That's a great question. As I told you, India is not an or story. It's not a monolith. You have an opportunity to play in the premium segment because there is that consumer who, for a right product, is willing to pay that type of premium if it satisfies that need. But there's also that consumer who still is very value conscious, mass market, etc. I don't think any company will succeed which just takes one route. If you're going to be a niche player, it's a very different thing. If you want to drive scale, I think there's an opportunity which India gives for both. And that's the exciting part. Yes, it's complex. Yes, it's challenging. But that's the most exciting part. Whoever can crack that successfully will win in this marketplace. And that's the way we are looking at in our strategy also.
Which one would you prioritize though?
So it's still going to be an and story. That one portion of the business may go slightly faster than the other, but both will grow.
How does PepsiCo globally look at India? It is a strategic growth engine for sure, but how does it feature when it comes to investments and other planned rollouts?
Ramon has and Eugene have clearly articulated along with the board that India is one of the lead 13 big markets where they want to anchor. They believe in the India growth story. Holistically, from the macroeconomics point of view. They also believe in the India should be one of the leading growth engines for PepsiCo going forward. We've already invested about 3,000 odd crores so far. We are opening up a plant in Northeast. We are opening up a plant on a beverage for concentrate in MP. We're looking at other geographies where we're opening up. We've already started investing in purchasing land. We are not going to shy off from our investments because that's the growth potential we see for the next decade.
PepsiCo is globally pivoting towards positive choices. How do you see this play out in India?
We are part of the global PepsiCo vision and completely committed to it, right? If you look at it, we're moving in that journey and path over the years globally. I believe that's the right pivot because, as Ramon said, our growth needs to be anchored on pepper, right? No organization, at least in India, long term will sustain without sustainability or positive choices at the heart of it. And we are committed to it. And over the years, we've done a lot of work on that, whether it's on MLP recycling, where we partnered with other companies. We pick up 100% of what we put out as part of recycling, or whether we talk about salt reduction, or almost 44-45% of our portfolio is mid-cal to zero-cal. So we're conscious about it. And same thing on water. We are net water positive. We need to ensure long-term sustainability that gets embedded as part of our business.
How is India contributing to PepsiCo's R&D globally, when it comes to the flavor ecosystem?
We have a great R&D team here in our office, and we have fantastic talent. A lot of our beverage R&D work not only supports India, it also supports other countries from Middle East Africa. Even on our foods, there are teams who are supporting not only India, but outside India. So our R&D is structured in such a way that we take learnings and best practices across the globe, but we develop specialities by market or in particular zone. The Indian R&D talents are not only just in India, they are across PepsiCo system. So they are our heartbeat.
So could a product being developed here become a global hit someday?
If you think about it, Kurkure, it was a locally grown product and it's a locally grown brand. But now you will see that brand and product in Pakistan, in Bangladesh, in Canada, in UK. Sting was a product which grew in Vietnam and then in India. But now it's a brand which is going global. So I don't see why any reason it would not be that case. We're already doing it.
You spoke a lot about sustainability, about how it's a core focus for many of the decisions you undertake at PepsiCo. Water positivity is also something you mentioned. I have read a lot about collaborative farming as well. Tell me a bit about how do you exactly go about balancing business growth with environmental responsibility?
In the vision which we've laid down about doubling our business, we have 3 strategic pillars. One is being people-centric. That's the first pillar. And when I say people-centric, it starts with consumer, includes our own employees and stuff. The second pivot is planet conscious. And then the third pillar is profitable growth. That's the sequence we are looking at. We know we are doing it for a long-term sustainability, because without that, we will not have license to operate in future. If you have both of these, your profitable growth will come. That's how we are internally talking about it among our teams, right? It's tough. It's not easy. We can't do it on our own. And I'll give you some examples. So like water. Yeah, we are water positive, but we work with communities. I can't just be water positive on my own. We work with communities. We've created, like in Mathura and all, we've created a drinking potable water facility available, but with the community, which now helps 50,000 residents in that area. So we teach them, we build the infrastructure, but they run it. It needs to be an inclusive thing. Same thing with farmers. We have fantastic collaborative farming. We work with almost 27 to 29,000 farmers. I think perhaps we are one of the few companies which work directly with farmers to such extent, teaching them how to grow great quality potatoes. And I've heard stories where farmers have come back and thanked us because the next generation now wants to come back into farming, okay, which is a massive change, and you feel good about it.
PepsiCo is also looked upon as the world's leadership factory. They've groomed some of the best leaders in so many countries. You yourself are an example. You've been at PepsiCo for over 30 years now. Tell me a bit about how you want to build culture at PepsiCo in India.
You're absolutely right. I've been blessed to work with fantastic leaders and mentors. And you're right that we've given great talent. And that's the beauty of this company. It's a very focused, dedicated, passionate company. It values people and their growth. It has that entrepreneurial skill. It allows you to take those selective risks, calculated risks, etc. It gives you a fantastic differential experience, which as you travel, as you move across the jobs or countries and roles, you evolve as a human being. You grow as a human being. You learn as a human being. And then you suddenly start contributing to that, right? And that's one of the legacies which all our leaders in past have done. And I've been blessed with that. Hopefully, I'm carrying that same legacy and trying to groom that team. And we will continue to be that engine for talent.
You've worked in so many countries, Philippines, Malaysia,
Thailand, Taiwan, yes, Dubai and Middle East Africa, yes. And the beauty of working is, yes, it's a Pepsi company, the DNA of the company is there, but the cultural nuances are different, right? And that's what you learn. And when you get an understanding of a lot of that cultural relevance, you evolve and you develop, and you grow.
What's the one thing that you've learned from the Indian consumer which has surprised you, which is very different from consumption patterns and consumption behavior you've seen in other countries where you've worked?
It's an interesting question, right? Indian consumers always demanding, right? Listen, in a positive way. Okay, even if I'm a premium consumer, I'll still demand the value. And if I'm not even a premium consumer, I'll still demand a value. And that's what keeps us on our toe as an organization. And that's why we are able to innovate so much.
I know you play golf when you have the time. Tell me a bit about what is your leadership style and what do you derive as inspiration from that sport that you enjoy playing?
Golf I picked up a couple of years ago, and then I've loved that game. Your friends, you're enjoying that occasion together. Yes, you're competing, but the friendship doesn't go away. That's one. It's in a natural habitat. It's open sunshine. That's the second. Third, it's a game of patience. You will have your good in an 18 hole. You will have a bad shot or a bad hole, and you'll have a great shot and a great hole. You need to be patient, because when things don't go right and you have a bad hole and a bad stroke, if you take it to heart and you get upset and frustrated, then your next 17 holes are going to be really bad. So you can't blame anyone for it. It is you whom you're playing against. You will have challenges. You will have ups and downs. You will have some curveballs coming in. You have to manage that. That's the reality of life.
You've seen ups and downs in your career spanning over 3 decades. Given the disruption we are seeing, given the competition we are seeing, what would you say is one big shift in mindset that you want drive within your teams?
Listen to the consumers, listen to your fellow colleagues. In the time when there's so much of disruption, listening and understanding is important. That's the first part. The second part, I would say, is post that, focus. There'll be 300 opportunities. You need to figure out which are those one or two you want to focus, and then go big bets on that rather than doing 300 stuff. So listen, be laser sharp, and then focus, and then bet your monies on that. And as you do that, keep things simple.
How do you cut the noise when there is so much clutter for this kind of clarity? How do you master it?
I have a philosophy of asking why 5 times. Why am I doing this? Why do you think I will succeed? Why do you think my consumer will die? Why do you think the size of... If you have 300 ideas, you need to zero down to 2 or 3. And the way you will zero down to 2 or 3 is just keep asking why? And as you keep doing that, these are the 2 or 3 things. And then that enables you to focus. And then cut everything out, because otherwise you'll get distracted. And a salty player, I have almost 2,000 or 3,000 brands which FMCG Nielsen captures. I can't keep track of all, but I know where I need to play and whom I need to play with, etc. Okay, same thing on beverage. We can't find solutions for everything, but then let's focus on these 2 or 3 big things. And my philosophy is the 5 whys. Keep asking why.
In the course of your career, when would you say that this approach helped you bring about a breakthrough at a critical juncture?
Well, let's think about what we've done on our products like Sting. Okay, why did we launch? What's the need? Why is the consumer going to pay? Red Bull was the market leader, and to be honest, a great marketing person over here called Vishal went through that as we were. He was the lead who did that, but I think he went through that same options of why. Okay, and we've been able to do that. Same thing when we launched Doritos here during my time. It was the same question: why tortilla-chip? Why do you think consumers will play? We keep doing that. Same thing when you're talking of sustainability. Why we want to do this? We have to be clear. We need to believe in that.
What would you say are some learnings that you would want to share with young professionals?
In PepsiCo, we have what we call triangle of advantage. If you want to launch a great product or something, you always focus on, okay, do I have a great brand and a product which wins in marketplace? Do I have a fantastic GTM which can support that? Great. And do I have a supply chain manufacturing excellence which can be disruptive and great? And in the center of people. When all of these are greens and yellows, you got a winning proposition, go. In our days, we used to have a career path which used to be like this. Young people are like this, like this, like this, like this, and they want to experiment, which is great. But then I have a compass of my triangle of advantage. Is that okay? Am I enjoying and learning and giving back to the organization or to myself in what I'm doing, and I'm growing in terms of learning? Is my family happy? Because I can tell you, none of us would be successful if you don't have the backing and strength of your family. Yeah. They are critical. I've traveled around the world. The family's always been with me. It's never been easy for them, right? So, and hence, are they happy? Are they enjoying what we are doing as a family together? Third thing I would not say, am I reasonably well paid? Okay. Doesn't mean I have to be the best paid. I'm sure there will be opportunities for individuals where they get potentially 20, 30% more. All of us can have that, right? But that's my triangle of advantage. And as long as none of them are red, I'm in great place. Yes, sometimes it will become yellow, red. Make an effort to resolve it. If you can resolve it, fantastic. And 9 out of 10 times, one will resolve it. So that's my philosophy and my career path as I've grown and done well with the help of a family, PepsiCo colleagues, and of course, God.
So after a long and tough day at work, what is your go-to PepsiCo snack and beverage?
Well, it's not end of the day. It's during the day. If I want to getting a true break, Pepsi Black or a 7-Up Zero are great refreshing products. And a bag of Lay's or a Doritos or a Coke, they all, I would rotate. But at the end of the day, it's what I look forward is going back to my family. My kids are here these days. So, and my daughter has decided to foster a dog. So that's the 5th person in our family. So I look forward to seeing them and just spending time with them. It's a time I need to do and owe them, and it's what we need to do. Yeah.
On that note, we'll wrap this conversation. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, and pleasure having you. And it's amazing how the time passed. I just didn't realize it.